If you have a single dollar invested in the stock market right now, you are in immediate danger. The rules of the game didn't just change. The game board was just flipped over. Donald Trump has officially confirmed that Jerome Powell is out. That was expected. But the man replacing him? That is the nightmare scenario for Wall Street. As soon as the name dropped, stocks started dumping. Gold and silver just took a historic nosedive. The era of easy money is dead. The great collapse everyone feared might have just been triggered by the one person nobody expected to trigger it. You need to understand exactly what just happened because your portfolio is sitting in the crosshairs. We have to look at the chaos. Usually chaos creates opportunity, but this time it looks different. Trump's new pick for the Federal Reserve is a man named Kevin Warsh. You might not know his name yet, but Wall Street is terrified of him. Here is why. Go back in time to 2008, the great financial crisis. The world was falling apart, banks were collapsing, the Federal Reserve was panic printing money to stop the bleeding. They were handing out bailouts like candy. Kevin Warsh was there, he was a Fed governor. But while everyone else was trying to flood the system with cash to save the day, Kevin was the guy in the corner shaking his head. He hated the bailouts. He was scared that all that free money would destroy the value of the dollar. He actually wanted to keep interest rates high while the economy was burning. He warned everyone about inflation. He said that printing money was a trap. Think about that. In the middle of a crisis, he wanted to take the hard road. Fast forward a few years to 2011. The Fed decides to print another $600 billion to help the housing market. Kevin Warsh fought it. He fought it hard. He called the benefits small and the risks massive. When he realized he couldn't stop the money printer, he didn't just complain, he quit. He resigned. That tells you everything you need to know about his character. He is a man who would rather see stock prices fall and the economy slow down than risk destroying the currency. Most Fed chairs want to be liked. They want the stock market to go up. They want you to feel rich. Kevin Warsh does not care. Even recently, in 2022, he came out swinging. He said the Fed waited way too long to raise rates. He said they lost all credibility. He believes that quantitative easing, which is just a fancy word for printing money, is evil. He thinks it creates bubbles. He thinks it makes rich people richer and hurts normal people. His entire philosophy is simple. Higher rates, slower growth, stronger dollar. This is the exact opposite of what the market was betting on. Wall Street had a script for 2026. The script was simple. Trump gets elected, Trump bullies the Fed, interest rates go to zero, the money printer goes, brrr, stocks go to the moon, we all get rich. That was the plan. But this appointment, this is a plot twist nobody saw coming. It's what we call the Trump paradox. For the last year, Trump has been promising lower interest rates. He yelled at Jerome Powell for not cutting rates faster. Everyone invested with the mindset that the party would never end. We thought we were going to inflate our way out of debt. We thought a Big Mac would eventually cost $100, but our Apple stock would be worth millions. That dream is dead. Kevin Warsh is expected to come in and do the unthinkable. He is going to crash the economy to save the US dollar. He is going to turn off the money tap. He wants to shrink the Fed's bank account. He wants to stop the United States from becoming a failed economy. Just 1 month before the election, someone asked Warsh what he would do if he got the job. His answer was chilling for investors. He said that policies that are good for stockholders are bad for people living paycheck to paycheck. He said we are enriching the wealthy at the expense of everyday Americans. Read between the lines. He is saying, I am going to hurt the stock market to help the working class. He is willing to pop the bubble. The market hates uncertainty. But this isn't uncertainty. This is a promise of pain. The new leadership believes that for the country to get healthy, the stock market needs to take its medicine. And that medicine tastes terrible. But here's the twist. The story gets weirder. Just when you think you have this guy figured out, he completely flips the script. The Kevin Warsh of 2026 is starting to sound a lot different from the Kevin Warsh of 2008. Suddenly, the man who hated cheap money is talking about lowering interest rates. He is going on TV and saying we need to get rates down to help the housing market. He wants 30-year mortgages to be affordable again. He is pitching himself as the White House's best friend. So you have to ask yourself a question. Did he actually change his mind, or is he just a sock puppet? Is he just telling Donald Trump exactly what he wants to hear so he can get the job, only to switch back to his old ways once he is in power? It is the classic Trojan horse strategy, but it doesn't matter what is in his heart. It matters what the market thinks. And right now, the market is terrified of a strong dollar. To understand why, you need to think like Trump. Trump actually wants the US dollar to be weak. That sounds crazy, right? Usually strong is good and weak is bad, but in global economics, it is the opposite. Think of the US economy like a grocery store. If the dollar is strong, our prices are high. Other countries look at our goods, our cars, our corn, our tech, and say, too expensive, I'm buying from China. But if the dollar is weak, we become the discount aisle. Our stuff gets cheap for the rest of the world. They buy more American products. Factories get busy. Stocks go up. The government's massive mountain of debt becomes easier to pay off. Trump wants a weak dollar to win the trade war. But Kevin Warsh, his entire career has been about protecting the dollar's value. He is the strong dollar guy. So we are heading into a massive collision. We have an unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. The president wants inflation to juice the economy. The Fed chair wants deflation to save the currency. This is a recipe for volatility. The days of the stock market just going up in a straight line are over. The safety net is gone. For the last 10 years, investors had a rule. Buy the dip because the Fed will save us. That rule is dead. The Fed is not coming to save you. This puts you in a very dangerous position. We are entering a financial kill zone. Whether Warsh obeys Trump or goes rogue, the outcome is chaos. And in chaos, you can make a fortune or you can lose everything. But before we talk about the offensive strategy, how to actually make money from this collapse, we need to talk about defense. You cannot attack if you are bleeding to death. When the global economy gets unpredictable, the only thing you can control is your personal economy. If you don't know exactly where your money is going right now, you are walking blind into a minefield. That is why I use Rocket Money. This isn't just an ad, it is a shield. I have used Rocket Money every single day for years. It is the command center for my net worth. It pulls all my accounts into one screen so I can see the damage in real time. Most people are losing money and they don't even know it. I call it vampire expenses. Just the other day I found a subscription I forgot about. It renewed and the price had jumped 50%. I would have never noticed. Rocket Money sent me an alert and I killed it immediately. They don't just track spending, they fight for you. They have a feature where they scan your bills, internet, phone, cable, and their negotiators actually call the companies to lower your rates. They have saved customers over $740 a year. They have canceled over $880 million in unwanted subscriptions. That is real money that belongs in your pocket, not some corporation's bank account. Stop bleeding cash. Click the link in the description or go to rocketmoney.com/grant. It's free to start. Do it before you finish this video. Now let's get back to the war room. We know the players, we know the stakes, now we need to look at the playbook, because the next few months are going to offer a very specific window of opportunity. If you understand the mechanics of what happens next, you can front run the rest of the market. Here's the truth about the stock market that nobody tells you. Prices do not fall because of bad news. The market can handle bad news. If the news is profits are down, the market says, okay, cool, and adjusts the price. What the market cannot handle is uncertainty. The market is like a control freak. It needs to know exactly what is going to happen next. When it can't predict the future, it panics. It sells everything just to be safe. That is exactly what is happening right now with Kevin Warsh. He is a giant question mark. Is he a Trump loyalist? Is he a rogue agent? Is he going to slash rates or hike them to the moon? Nobody knows. And because nobody knows, everyone is running for the exit. But here is the thing about market panics. They are almost always wrong. The stock market is a drama queen. It overreacts to everything. When things are good, like in April 2025, people buy like they have infinite money. Prices go way too high. When things are bad, people sell like the world is ending. Prices go way too low. The pendulum swings too far in both directions. It never stops in the middle. So let's take a deep breath. Let's look at the actual data, not the emotions. Every single year, the stock market drops. It is a guarantee. Even in the best years in history, where everyone made money, we still saw drops of 10 to 20% during the year. It is the price of admission. The legendary investor Charlie Munger had a brutal rule about this. He said if you cannot handle a 50% drop in your portfolio without panic selling, you do not deserve to be rich. You deserve the mediocre results you are going to get. The math backs him up. Look at the last 45 years. In 34 of those years, the S&P 500 finished positive. That means you have a 75% win rate just by showing up. But you are probably thinking, what if this time is different? What if we hit a recession? Fine. Let's assume the worst case scenario. Let's say the economy crashes hard. History shows that the average time to recover from a massive crash is only 1 to 2 years. That's it. 24 months. If you are investing for the long term, 2 years is the blink of an eye. Most people try to be smart. They sell now, hoping to buy back in when it's cheaper. That is a losing game. You have to be right twice. You have to know when to sell, and you have to know when to buy. Nobody gets that right. So, how do you actually make money in 2026? What is the secret strategy to turn this chaos into a fortune? The answer is going to sound stupidly simple, but it is the hardest thing in the world to actually do. I want you to imagine you are walking into an Apple store. You want the new iPhone. Yesterday it was $1,000. Today you walk in and Tim Cook is standing there. He says, hey, we are having a panic sale. The iPhone is now $500. Do you scream? Do you run out of the store crying? Do you say, oh no, the value of the iPhone is crashing? No. You take out your wallet. You buy two. You tell your friends. You celebrate because you got a deal. So why do you do the exact opposite with stocks? When Amazon or Google goes on sale for 50% off, people don't celebrate. They panic. They think something is broken. The only difference between the iPhone and the stock is your psychology. If you are not planning to spend that money for 10 or 20 years, who cares if the line on the graph goes down today? It literally does not matter. This is not a crisis. This is Black Friday. The best investors in the world, Buffett, Munger, Dalio, they don't fear the drop. They wait for it. They sit on cash like a sniper waiting for the moment when everyone else is terrified. And right now, people are terrified. So if you can change your mindset, you can win. But you need to know exactly what to buy when the sale starts. You can't just throw money at trash and hope it goes up. You need to target the assets that survive the crash, because there is a specific sector of the market that is about to get hit the hardest and another sector that is about to explode. Stop thinking like a victim. You have to kill that fear response in your brain. I have never understood why people freak out when the market falls. It is literally part of the contract. You sign up for the gains, you have to accept the pain. As long as you aren't gambling your life savings on Fartcoin or some random scam, history is on your side. If you are patient, you win. Here's the secret pattern. I have been making videos about money on YouTube for almost 10 years. I have watched millions of people react to the market. I see the same loop happen over and over again. First, everyone gets greedy. They see their neighbor making money. They get jealous. They suffer from FOMO. They throw money at anything that moves. Prices go up way higher than they should. The price disconnects from reality. Then the music stops. Suddenly, fear takes over. And fear is much stronger than greed. People sell good assets for bad prices because they are scared. Do not be that person. You cannot predict the future. The only way to guarantee you don't get left behind is to stay on the roller coaster. Do not unbuckle your seatbelt while the ride is moving. You need to view these drops as gifts. The Great Recession in 2008 was terrible for the world. But for investors with cash, it was the opportunity of a lifetime. It allowed me to buy a literal house in California for $70,000. That sounds like a lie today, but it happened. I never would have been able to afford a home without that crash. It happened again in 2020. The world was shutting down. The S&P 500 crashed to 2,300 points. I was on YouTube telling you to buy. It happened again in 2022. Bitcoin crashed to $16,000. Everyone said crypto was dead. I was buying at $16,000. I was buying at $30,000. I was buying at $70,000. Why? Because I don't need the money today. If I don't need to spend it for 5 years, I don't care what the price is on Tuesday. Now about Kevin Warsh. Here is my controversial take. There is no way he is going to fight Donald Trump. Let's be real for a second. Trump is the boss. He fired the last guy, figuratively speaking, because he didn't lower rates fast enough. Do you really think Trump would hire a new guy who is going to do the exact opposite of what he wants? No chance. They might use different words, but they have the same goal. Trump wants the market up, Warsh wants the job. They are aligned. But I have to give you a warning, a big one. Kevin Warsh is not a prophet. In 2007, right before the entire global banking system collapsed, Warsh went on record. He said everything was fine. He said banks were strong. He said there was no risk. He was dead wrong, and the world paid the price. So anything can happen. The experts can be wrong. The president can be wrong. The charts can be wrong. That is why the only safety net you have is time. If you hold good assets for 20 years, none of this noise matters. The crashes become blips on a chart that goes up and to the right, but knowing when to buy is only half the battle. You need to know what to buy. If Warsh does screw up, and if we do enter a lost decade where stocks go nowhere, there is one specific asset class that has historically made investors rich while everyone else stays poor. It isn't gold and it isn't tech. I broke down exactly what it is and how to buy it in this video right here. Click it and I'll see you there.